Okay, so we're doing the deleted scenes now. This is the commentary for the deleted scenes, and we're excited about it, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Backwards hat, Otis.
So this was the full version of Down on the Farm. We used this portions in the movie until there. We decided to go out. We went out on his rear,
if you will.
But that's why. So this is unlit. This would be Dimitri textured but unlit, right?
That's right. Never got to her.
And TJ, your sequence, correct?
Yeah, this was a really fun sequence to work on and to act out visually.
And when you're directing, you take a ton of heat when things get cut out because people are like, hey, dude, we heard you cut that. Did you really cut that?
Yeah. I can't dance walk.
Well, it's interesting. The event still takes place in the film. It's just these parts of it aren't.
It's like we cut away from this particular scene and came back later on in the movie.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And then Phil, remember that was a big deal. We were trying to decide what would be the best backdrop, that whole cycle that drops down. It was going to unravel down, but ultimately it just came in the very end.
Yes, and we had to pull teeth just to get that in there.
And that song's available on the CD, Barnyard soundtrack, Kevin James. Okay, so now this was, I sort of hated seeing this go.
Poignant moment.
Well, it was a neat twist that we had where right after Otis had chased off the coyotes or they threatened him and beat him down, his friends all took it as him chasing them off.
If you watch, one of the eyes is kind of messed up in this sequence or disappeared.
What's the big deal,
I like that shot.
Pig's got some problems too.
Yeah, Pig's got some problems.
So in this version, he had to sort of carry with him that they all thought he was a hero when he had backed down.
Little turning point for Mr. Otis.
Yeah, and Dom Herrera did a nice job, but it's not in the movie, is it? Oh, sorry.
Deleted scene.
Go Otis, it's your birthday.
Look at Freddy.
And Daisy's eyes started to bleed. This is a really sweet scene between Miles and Otis. They were only drawn at this stage. This didn't actually make production. But it was very debatable as to whether I was going to pull this, actually. It really came down to a lot of the information is a little on the nose, so I decided to yank it. But when we screened, the sequence played really nice.
Good Miles star scene.
Yeah. No, he did a great, Danny Glover did a great job with this, his part here. It's tough. You got to make this call. What's that?
Why was it cut?
Well, in animation, you got to make so many decisions early. In live action, you could wait until you've shot it and take it through editorial. But there's so much money attached to every minute of production that you're trying to do most of your cuts before they go to CG animation. So we screened something probably, 40 minutes longer? 25?
It was 3.5 hours long.
Probably 25 to 30 minutes longer was our first screening than the final movie. And this was one of the sequences where I was completely on the fence.
Very pivotal.
I think the only reason this sequence left were two different reasons. One was it was a full scene length, and when it was cut down, the movie just seemed to flow better, I thought. But also, I personally thought the song was a little too sickeningly sweet, and I don't know your guys' take on that.
That's quite an opinion.
I thought the same thing.
Sweet.
After hearing it a trillion times.
There's a little bit of a Sesame Street kind of thing going on.
But I'll
there.
tell you, some people were mad at me when I was cutting the sequence. A lot of the people in the studio were upset because they liked it so much. Yeah. And the pre-animation. We had this big problem with eyes for a while. Remember when
one decided to remove them?
Yeah, one was always red, or one was always black, or
it looked like it had lightning in it at one point.
Yeah.
The way we had the animator singing this song quite a bit
over and over.
I've actually had people that have seen.
I missed that though. That was Boyle.
That was cool.
Derp, derp, derp. He was great, and that was his one moment to shine.
Yeah, you can barely see him when he's in the film now. No one looks at him.
Boyle. There's another one coming up right here. He gets scared and he gets excited and he runs off after Otis does the.
I believe, Mr. Oedekerk, were you the voice of Boyle?
Yes, I was the voice of Boyle. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you. See, a little drop there. Okay, so en route to what became hill surfing, as everybody on the production knows, I was always struggling with the opening of the movie, and I wanted something fun and funny and dynamic and a great way to meet the characters, which ultimately was hill surfing, but this was one of the many, many cracks that was taken.
Did you say crack?
I did.
Because it'll play.
It's a precognizant moment.
As things play
There's
out.
even a mocap version of me doing the grade A leather.
Yeah, and I miss him saying the grade 11 thing was
available
neat.
online.
We actually animated all this as well.
Oh, you're right. This did get the. I
Yeah.
think it was hard to watch when it popped back and forth. So he throws the bottle and
Good shot.
and landed in there lightly.
It nestled.
Landed in there.
Nestled.
Like,
Nestled's a better word. Nestled.
You can't feel that, dude? I feel it. I'm not even you.
What are you guys laughing at? Hey, come on. Where are we going?
Okay, so if someone had told me this sequence would have been cut at the top of the movie, I would have said absolutely impossible.
Because this existed with our original promo.
In our
Barnyard
demo.
Demo years ago.
And everybody always
strong.
loved it. It was a very much Freddy focus. I love Freddy. And Cam Clark does an amazing job as Freddy. And so we couldn't find a place for it. I kept switching around the cut and trying to find different places to put it. And it just, every time we took it out, the movie played smoother.
And obviously,
even though it got laughed.
So sets Freddy's character up. Obviously, I thought I did a pretty decent job planting the seeds without this scene, but this really nicely spelled it out.
Well, yeah, and because of this, I had to scale back Freddy and Peck's dynamic, first version of the script, which was probably too long, but it had a much better through line of him wanting to eat his best friend. And this is my favorite little part. Is thinking
There's
back.
love with the the
so he
eating.
kind of always wanted to eat him, even when they were kids.
We'd even had those modeled at one point too, didn't we?
Oh yeah, the little guys. Yeah.
Yep, they were modeled.
They ended up looking
And
a little weird.
Sergey did the boards for this.
That's right, Jeff Sergey.
And I purposely left the longer version on the deleted scenes, even though we had a tighter version I thought worked better. But I thought, well, we might as well roll the whole thing.
You're going to have to choose between a good friend who's a meaningful and important part, now, an important part, you said it, of your life, okay? Okay now? Or chowing down on a tasty midday snack. Now, how do you feel? How do you feel about this?
I want him as a friend, but he...
Literally elements of this, Steve. What? The original demo for Barnyard 10 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that.
Is it that long, really?
5?
No, but it's probably 7.
7,
4,
7.5.
I don't know.
I
mean,
would say it was 7.
Now, you're going to have to learn to control yourself.
Is there anything you can do?
I can do this. You sit up now.
What's that for?
Trust me, it helps. Now get.
The original opening of the movie was this sequence done with music provided by David Bearwald, a song he wrote, and the Stomp, the guys from Stomp did the percussion. And that's on this DVD as a special feature. It's a very cool piece. And then this was the middle version with a slowed down, more emotional version of the same song. And after all that blah-de-blah-de-blah, I loved this, and I hated to see it go. So someone asked, why did it go?
I think this is the precursor to Otis going to the grave. Right?
Yeah.
This is the whole lead up to.
Yeah, and I loved it.
that.
There was going to be we never got to see it fully functional in CG, where there was a lighting shift and it got sort of broke the fourth wall and got a little CG-ish. But this was the only version we ever screened, and every time the audience, it was like a break.
Yeah.
It was like that they'd shift in their seats. Some people would get up and go to the bathroom really quick, and it was like it seemed like there was little enough movie going on that they could. Oh, here I could leave now, and so I ultimately pulled it, but it was just really really sweet.